Welcome back, fellow aquarists. Get ready, because today we're taking a deep dive into keeping one of the absolute coolest, most vibrant fish in the freshwater hobby, the Chili Rasbora. If you're looking to build a thriving, visually stunning home tank that's just packed with activity, well, you're definitely in the right place. In this explainer, we're going to walk through the definitive, start-to-finish care guide for these brilliant little schooling fish. Let's get right to it.
All right, here's our roadmap for today. We're covering the Chili Rasbora profile, mastering water and flow, setting up the perfect aquascape and feeding guide, understanding their social behavior and tank mates, and finally, breeding, health, and how to achieve total success.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the Chili Rasbora profile, the ultimate nanofish.
0.8. Yeah, that's 0.8 inches. Just let that sink in for a second. Also known as the mosquito Rasbora, these guys are true nanofish, maxing out at an adult size of just 0.6 to 0.8 inches in length. I mean, they are remarkably tiny. But hey, don't let that microscopic size fool you. What they lack in sheer mass, they absolutely make up for in brilliant ruby red coloration and just a ton of personality.
Now, despite their incredibly tiny stature, setting up their home isn't as simple as just grabbing a small bowl. With excellent care, your Chili Rasboras are going to live for a good 4 to 5 years. And here's an absolutely crucial takeaway. Their minimum tank size is 10 gallons. This is a huge misconception out there that tiny fish can thrive in tiny little desktop bowls. But these guys, they have an incredibly high activity level. They really need a tank with a larger rectangular footprint, so they have ample horizontal swimming space to dart around. Oh, and another thing, while they aren't exactly famous for being jumpers, they totally can and sometimes will leap right out of the water if something startles them. So a tight-fitting lid on your aquarium is pretty much non-negotiable if you want to keep them safe.
Moving right along to Section 2, mastering water and flow. This is where we build that perfect foundation.
You know, to really understand what makes a Chili Rasbora thrive, we gotta look at where they actually come from. They're native to southwestern Borneo, and out there, they live in these really unique blackwater streams and pools. So what is a blackwater stream? Basically, it's slow-moving water that gets heavily tinted by cannons from all the decaying leaves and wood. It kind of looks like weak tea, right? And this creates very soft, highly acidic conditions. Honestly, replicating this specific environment in your home tank is the absolute secret to bringing out their most intense, vivid red colors and keeping their immune systems totally rock solid.
Now, what's really interesting when we look at their ideal water parameters is the sheer precision required. To match those blackwater conditions, you're going to want your general hardness, or GH, to be incredibly low, literally between 1 and 2. Your pH needs to be on the acidic side, sitting anywhere from 4.0 up to a neutral 7.0. And a great pro tip here, you can actually achieve this naturally just by adding some peat or Indian almond leaves, which slowly release those beneficial tannins we just talked about. And looking at the temperature range, 68 to 82.4 degrees Fahrenheit, it seems pretty wide, right? But listen, consistency is what truly matters here. You have got to use a reliable aquarium heater. If your room temperature fluctuates, your tank temperature fluctuates, and cold water will severely stress these little guys out, compromising their health and totally washing out that gorgeous ruby red color.
So because of that native, slow-moving habitat and, their microscopic little bodies, Chili Rasboras simply cannot fight strong currents. It's just too much for them. You absolutely need a gentle filter. If your filter output is just blasting water, you can easily break up the flow by strategically placing some branches, driftwood, or dense plants right in front of the output. Plus, being so small makes them hypersensitive to water quality. You've got to always use a high-quality water conditioner to completely neutralize any toxic chlorine from your tap water. And of course, stay strictly on top of those regular partial water changes. Impeccably clean water is literally a lifesaver here.
All right, let's get to the fun part. Section 3, Aquascape and Feeding Guide. Time to create their dream home.
The perfect Chili Rasbora aquascape really serves two main purposes. It makes them feel super secure, and it creates this amazing visual contrast that makes their colors just pop. You want to start with a dark, fine-textured sand or gravel substrate. That dark bottom perfectly mimics the natural pools they come from. Next up, plant the tank densely with live aquatic plants. But here's the real kicker. Utilize floating plants at the surface. Those floating plants act just like an umbrella, dimming the aquarium lighting and creating this really nice shaded canopy. When the light is dimmed down a bit, the Chili Rasboras feel safe enough to come out and display their most intense, vivid reds. Toss in some natural roots and branches, and boom, you've completely nailed that natural blackwater look. Okay, moving over to their diet. While they're technically omnivores, Chili Rasboras really operate more like tiny micro-predators. They absolutely thrive on protein-rich foods. You'll want to feed them a varied mix. Freeze-dried, fresh, or frozen bloodworms are fantastic, and you can supplement that with some chopped microworms. But hey, here is a major caveat. Their mouths are microscopic. If you're feeding them standard tropical flakes, you literally have to crush them up into a superfine powder first, otherwise they just can't eat it and could even choke. And please do not overfeed them. Overfeeding fish this tiny not only risks their health directly, but all that uneaten food is going to decay rapidly and absolutely wreck that pristine water quality they desperately need. Just stick to tiny amounts, maybe once or twice a day.
Let's move on and see how this all builds together. Section 4, Social Behavior and Tank Mates.
6. That right there is your absolute minimum school size. Chili Rasboras are highly social schooling fish. If you keep any less than 6, they're gonna get incredibly stressed out, their colors will completely wash out, and they'll be way more susceptible to disease. They really need the security of their own kind to feel brave. But honestly, while 6 is the bare minimum, keeping a school of 20 or more in a larger tank, that is where the real magic happens. A large school darting around puts on an absolutely spectacular, synchronized swimming show. It's like watching a living piece of art, it'll keep you entertained for hours.
Now, when you're picking out tank mates, you absolutely have to choose peaceful, similarly sized nanospecies. They actually get along perfectly with little invertebrates like amano shrimp and cherry shrimp. As for fish, you might want to look into celestial pearl danios, corycats, neon tetras, or maybe some sparkling and chocolate gourami. The golden rule here is pretty simple, folks. Stay far away from large or aggressive fish. A bigger fish is either going to easily outcompete your little chilies for food, or, even worse, they're going to view your beautiful little rasboras as a very expensive, ruby red snack, and we definitely don't want that.
And finally, Section 5, Breeding, Health, and Total Success. Let's cover the advanced stuff. So if you're looking to breed them, you obviously first need to figure out who is who in the tank. Sexing Chili Rasboras really comes down to a few visual cues. The males are totally the show-offs. They exhibit a much brighter, more intense red coloration. Their dark markings are a lot sharper, and they actually develop these vivid red stripes right on their dorsal and anal fins, especially when they're showing off for a mate. Females, on the other hand, are noticeably rounder and plumper, particularly when they're carrying a batch of eggs. So the absolutely crucial point here is how you manage the actual breeding process, because, plot twist, these fish are terrible parents. Seriously, they will happily cannibalize their own scattered eggs. So step 1, set up a dedicated spawning container with a mesh bottom. This is vital because it allows the eggs to fall safely through the mesh, completely out of the parent's reach. Step 2, add 1 to 2 females for every dominant male. Step 3, remove the parents after about 3 to 4 days of spawning. And finally, step 4, once those microscopic fry hatch, you've got to feed them incredibly tiny foods like infusoria and paramecium until they're finally big enough to handle powdered flakes. Also, just make sure the water parameters in that breeding tank perfectly match your main tank so you don't shock anyone during the transfer. Now, even with the absolute best care, health issues can still pop up, and it's almost always due to a drop in water quality. You really need to stay vigilant. Watch out for physical signs like bloating, pop eye, bloody or red streaks along their sides, fuzzy cotton-like growths, gray spots, or unusual lesions. And if you ever see your fish actively scratching against the decor or developing tiny white pimples all over, well, that's a classic sign of itch, which is a super common parasite. Because these guys are just so tiny, illness hits them incredibly hard and incredibly fast. If you spot any of these symptoms, you must pull that sick fish out, quarantine them immediately, and start treatment with an appropriate over-the-counter medication.
All right, let's do a quick recap of the most critical beginner mistakes so you can dodge them entirely. First, do not house them in a 5-gallon tank. It is literally just too small for their high activity level. 10 gallons is the true minimum. Second, never buy schools smaller than 6, or you're just going to end up with stressed out sick fish. Third, do not forget to crush their food into a super fine powder. Remember, microscopic mouths. Fourth, avoid putting their tank in direct sunlight for long periods because that can easily overheat the water and massively stress out the school. Oh, and a quick tip for when you're actually at the fish store. Always buy active fish with bright coloration. If a tank has dead or lethargic fish in it, just walk right on by.
Well, there you have it. You now possess the ultimate roadmap to creating an incredible, thriving environment for one of the aquarium hobby's absolute most beautiful species. But remember, a beautifully planted tank is really just a canvas waiting for life. So I want to leave you with this. As you start designing your very own Blackwater aquascape, what peaceful nano fish or shrimp are you going to pair your new school of Chili Rasboras with? It's time to start planning your vibrant community. Happy fish keeping, everyone!